All right, and we are live. So, good
We're
morning
live.
from Japan, good day for the Pacific West Coast, and good evening to you guys in the East Coast. I am Ryan with Jerry, and welcome to our second episode of our live stream.
Yeah, we don't have a name for it yet, but we'll get there eventually. We will get there
Yep,
eventually.
we will get there. So, uh, let's start with plugging in your socials.
Yes. So as you guys know, I am FrenchBreadBuilds on Instagram. I am FBBuilds on Twitter. I don't tweet as much as I should, but I'm there. So if you got to reach me, you can reach me there. But yeah, I do most of my activity on Instagram, but I'm also all over the place on Facebook. So if you're looking to get a little bit more involved in the virtual space of this all, you'll be sure to run into me, and I'm sure to run into Ryan as well.
Oh yeah, of course. We share stories a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so for my socials, I got Instagram for RBGunplaworks, and then my book face, also RBGunplaworks. I do have a Twitter. Don't use it very much, but other than that, you can probably find me on other socials like Reddit from RGunpla and all that. But if you see my logo, it's definitely my work, so you'll definitely recognize it.
Yes,
So
yeah. I
there's
just
always
I just
that.
recently I just recently made a logo, and I got to remember to put it on stuff when I post. But
Yeah, yeah,
I'm a work in progress. Work in progress. Work in process. I'm one of those. I'm one of those.
of course.
Man, wow, we already have 10 viewers.
That's too many.
I know, right?
All right, so starting off, we're going to be talking about what we thought of our first stream. So one thing I actually wasn't really expecting it to be 2.5 hours long, or how should I say this, but also the amount of community interaction we've received as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. We, we had our timeline set, and I remember at the top we had like an hour to an hour and a half, and
Yep.
for whatever reason we were planning like backup material as if we were going to run out of things to talk about. But yeah, it ended up running a full 2.5 hours, and I feel like it could have lasted longer if we didn't just say, "Hey, all right, it's time to cut it."
Well, by that time, we both had to take a fat leak, so.
Yes. I'd take a couple.
Yes. All right. So I guess there's really not too much negative, but it was mostly positive. But interaction between the community was pretty nice, especially with all the comments we've been getting. So
Absolutely.
so that kind of kept the stream going alive, kept us in track as well.
Yep, absolutely. And I kind of we our goal for this is to kind of keep it comment driven, community driven. We have
Yep.
our little talking points, but we want this to be a conversation. So
All right. So I guess we'll.
we're really happy with the turnout and the
Yes.
support.
Yes. That's the number one thing. So I guess moving ahead, I'm gonna be showing a clip, at least a highlight from the first stream. I think you already know where this is heading at, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, so let me get that set up. Share screen. Chrome tab, share audio. All right, so we're gonna have to do a little quick play-by-play because I should have saw this one coming, where you just kind of you just told me to wait for like a solid 20 seconds, and then I just eventually get trolled.
So just a little background. Ryan was showing a what was this, like a photo etch stencil or something?
Yeah, so it's like there you go, one of these.
Yeah, there you go. And this was like right after our current projects segment, and Ryan was showing the Wing Zero the PG Wing Zero custom that he was doing, and someone pointed out that you could see the reflection because it had LEDs. You could see the reflection of the kit in the sheet.
Yeah.
And then so I took advantage of that, and
you did.
Hilarity ensued.
All right. So here we go. I'm gonna go through this highlight. It might be weird to hear actually our own voices, but let's see how this one goes.
Get up, wait.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah, there it is.
All right.
Hold on. I'm gonna do something real quick.
I should have expected it right here.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna need you to do that reflection thing.
That's also should have been a hint too.
Let me know when.
Should have been.
Yep.
And go.
All right, I got you.
Damn it! Okay. All
right. So I got you back now.
Wow. How did I not see that coming?
You know what? We're even now. So next time you'll have to get back.
So you guys are going to actually have to watch the old stream to see what actually happened. What you just saw was me getting rickrolled, and wow, I think I walked into that one worse.
Yes, you did.
Oh man. Okay. Wow.
All right. Well. To be fair, wow. I've also rickrolled the entire stream. So
that's true. All of you guys were a part of this. All of you.
Yeah. Because it's.
Oh man.
Why must you do this?
Oh man. Well then. All right. Well, now that we've all been shamed.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
I spent probably about a good hour just trying to get it cut right too. And then I had to replay it. Yeah. I had to replay it a few times. I loved it.
Oh man! I thought that you just queued up the video that I spliced together from the last one.
Oh, I did. I used it.
Oh, and then you just pulled up pulled.
So I pulled up the video, saved it, and spliced it with a video editor.
There you go.
Yeah.
KSC. This is my virus beer. Virus Light.
All right.
Oh man. Alrighty. Oh wow, we've already jumped up to 18 viewers.
That's too many.
I know. Oh man. Up 17. I jinxed us. All right. Let's,
they backed out last
Ryan,
minute.
you want to go over?
Yep.
Yeah, they did.
All right. So for today's stream, we are going to be first topic. We're just going to be talking about our current WAPs or WIPs, depending on how you view it. I hope everybody gets that reference, please. All right.
Wow.
So
okay, that's enough.
All right, that's too much. All right, so for current WIPs that I got going on, right? So you got the model bingo new head. So it's a full resin kit with LEDs. At least it's pretty much movable from the neck, head, and the bust. And still got a few finishing touches on it, but so far it's looking pretty good.
Is that did you do any modifications to it? Was it supposed to be fully movable? Does it come with any plastic? Tell me a little bit about that.
So actually, since it's a full resin kit, the plastic joints are from Lego pieces. So you got a ball joints, the socket for the neck, and then you also got some attachments that go off to the side to where it'll have like a little arm connection. I'm not sure if I have it here. So like everybody should recognize that at least. To it just clips on, and then I can move up the kind of like the side piece right here.
Yeah.
So it'll just like kind of
so like the hat.
like open hatch feature.
Hatch.
Yep. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, model bingo
up top too. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Model bingo's known for those Lego pieces, right?
Yeah, so there's a couple of other kits, whether it be the Mercurius Survey or the God Gundam, to where they has like Lego pieces built into the resin, so for joints. So that it holds up together well from the test fit that I've done, but I want them at least to see them do more of these busts because they're actually really simple and easy to do, especially for beginners who want to get into resin kits too. Yeah.
Yeah, I've wanted. So I'm like weird when it comes to this stuff. I'm like, I have this one rule where like everything that I want to build has to have like arms and legs. So so and maybe that just might be me not really like, appreciating things as I should. And I'm sure if I got one, it would be like, fantastic. But I have been looking into the Model Bingo God Gundam, and there is so the market's like full of recasts right now, and I don't want a recast. But I'm pretty sure they're not that hard to find, right? Like they're still out there.
Oh yeah, they're still out there. So Model Bingo, like from what I've seen, like the big resin studios, whatever, they'll go through their waves in terms of like pumping out the resin kits, because every so often they'll have to redo the mold or fix something on the mold because it only gets so many uses.
Yeah.
When you do your production run.
Yeah, before it turns into like a universal cast. Quality.
Yeah.
I wanna get one. Do you have your Wing Gundam at hand? Show us how good it's been without being trolled.
Yeah, okay.
Without being trolled this time.
See. I mean, there hasn't been too much done from the last stream, but because I'm still working on some other kits while taking a break. But all I got right now is just consolidated the wires in the back. That way, I'll connect it to the battery pack.
Yeah. Do you have so as someone who wants to eventually start getting into LED work, do you have it like routed through the frame, or are they just poking out? Like how do you like cluster them?
It might be a little bit hard to explain. So since I lit up the forearm sensor, so I got it inside here, routed through the frame, and then luckily this frame for the wing is actually kind of has some pretty decent gaps where you can route some wire through, because I got 30 AWG wire, which is probably about like I think 0.3 or 0.5 millimeters, so it's pretty thin as is. And I routed it up through here, and then to get inside the chest, since we're already familiar with the male end for plugging in the shoulder joint, so I drilled a hole through that and put it through the chest, because like when I do route LEDs, I want to have like a center point, or at least a point where everything comes together, so I can consolidate in one central location, or consolidate on like at least a big area, because I also got to worry about stashing resistors, and sometimes you got to get creative on making room inside the frame.
The chest cavity, I'm assuming, or the back, or whatever.
Well, because I got a resistor inside here. There's also a resistor in the head, believe it or not.
Wow.
And yeah, because there's still plenty of room inside the chest, but I wanted to at least keep the resistor as close as possible to where the LED location is, because I don't want to second guess myself when I do route LED wiring and how should I say this? Like if I forget to add an LED, or if I forget to add a resistor, then it could disrupt my circuit.
Yeah, I get you. Very nice. And at some point and I've requested this. I want to have like a live, basic LED demo. Just walk us through the process. So I have very like basic circuitry knowledge, so I can solder, I can make something light up if I have to, but I've actually never had to do it through a frame before, or at least I never had to do it where I'm in charge of where the wires go, if that makes sense. So I think that would be a good thing to kind of practice,
because it kind of gives you a sense of idea, make you think, especially since you have an engineering background, to where you can like stash some stuff or hide the wires.
I think I'm at this point right now where I'm trying to. I used to want to be able to just get projects out as quickly isn't the word, because I'm not fast with any of this stuff either. But like I wanted to, like, to the point where there are some builds that I painted that I didn't like test fit first, right? Like, so I would like build and like the more you want to do, the more I realize that that's really not a good approach, especially when you're not dealing with like Bandai stuff. Because at the very least you can fall back on the tolerancing for Bandai kits to be pretty good, but like for third party stuff and resin especially, you can never bank on things fitting the way they're supposed to. So
no, not at all.
I'm trying to get into that process, and I'm trying to not overload myself with a bunch of projects, because I know that if I work on one thing only, it'll be like a 4 or 5 month project, but I also don't want to work on too many things at once that I don't make progress on anything. So
well, because I like to,
it's a balance.
Yeah, because I like to work on numerous projects at a time. Maybe not too many, but like if I were to take a break from my wing build, for example, and that way I can like bust this out in about like 2 weeks, give or take. So it's kind of like gives you a refresher, or at least a nice break.
I guess I can kind of segue into what I've been doing. I think I mentioned in the last thing, our last stream, I showed the amazing cast full armor Gundam that I'm working on, and I haven't touched it since then, because I'm still a little burnt out. But which is fine. I get it. Like especially when like during the week. Unfortunately, I'm not working from home at the moment, so I have like whole chunks of day that I'm just not able to sit and work. Unlike at the beginning of the virus, I was able to do that. So it's like get home from work and then maybe a 4 or 5 hour sprint to get something done, right? And then I go to bed and I do it again the next day. So it's like, I end up devoting like 20 or so hours a week to a project, and it sounds like a lot, but those when you're working on something 4 or 5 hours, especially with resin, that's not a lot.
No, not at all.
When you're working, thinking about how things are going to fit and all that other stuff. So I told myself that one week, and I told you, I remember, I was like, I'm going to get this done. I think I did that 2 or 3 times, but I was like, I'm going to get this done, and I want to get it knocked out. And I did, but like, man, it took a lot out of me. So, and even before that, I had my blue frame that is still sitting in the same exact place that it was before too, which is fine. I'm not as eager to do this because the next thing that's up is the legs, and legs are my least favorite thing to do in this hobby. But so being kind of burnt out from those, I decided, all right, let me do a little like a quick snap build. I'll something I'm going to paint eventually, but let me just put something together. So I actually just finished it this morning. I've got the Supernova Hayate, I believe that's how it's pronounced, Liger. I haven't watched Zoids since the original run was a Chaotic Sentry, that kind of stuff. I don't know anything about it, but I haven't watched Zoids since then, so I have really no idea what this is or where it came from. But it's what's great about third-party kits is that you can get a one-off and build it and put it away, and it didn't cost you an arm and a leg. I built this, and I am actually going to do a review video on this. I'm hoping to maybe drop it by sometime towards the end of this week or middle of next week. But it was pretty good. And this is going to sound weird because I know it's a model kit, but this doesn't build like a model kit. It builds like something that was a figure and was turned into a model kit. If that makes sense.
Almost,
right?
Yeah, it does. Like, because I built the Liger Zero from Kotobukiya, so like I get what you mean. Where it's almost a little bit of both worlds.
Yes. And I mean, even the HMM series, it was designed. Although it's like they're like super detail oriented and complex, they were designed to be put together. This, I don't think, was like designed to be assembled. You know what I mean? And I believe that what Supernova did was it took a figure, a 1/100 scale figure that I believe it was Kotobukiya that they released a 1/100 scale figure a while ago, and they took it, they scaled it up to 1/100 scale. Or 1/172 scale, I should say, and they turned it into a model kit. And it's actually, for what it is, it's pretty good. It's got its I don't even want to call it third party issues. I think it's got its like this wasn't designed to be assembled issues where there's some stuff that doesn't really make sense. You've got these like massive seam lines here where these two parts connect.
For the shoulder armor.
Yeah, where if that wouldn't necessarily be the case for in a model kit, it would be weird to see it come together like this. But other than that, it's crazy articulate. This torso and some pieces just came off, but its torso it's segmented into three pieces, and it can extend pretty long to get some really dynamic kind of like this is like a weird if you remember Men in Black, you remember those worm things that had those weird abdomens like
extended torso.
So it can do that. It's actually it's a poser. It's got issues though, loose joints, especially in these segmented sections in the torso. But that can be tightened up with paint. But I'd probably say the biggest disappointment about the kit would be they made a big deal about including these action bases for them. And it actually came. Oh, it's terrible. It's a ratchet joint. It's a ratchet joint that doesn't ratchet. So it's like I tried to get it in some aerial poses, but it was terrible. So, it's going to take some work. It's going to take some work to get it where I want it to be. I've got some splash paints that I'll be using for the first time on them. I figured I got them. Let me try and use them. These are the Mecha Series line. So, this is actually Sazabi Red. So that's what I'm going to do with that. But, I'm not going to paint it now. I'm probably going to go back to the resin kit and try and get some meaningful progress on that.
Yeah. Where'd you pick it up, by the way? Is it from Gundam Model Center?
Yes. GundamModelCenter.com. They're pretty much the one-stop shop for anything and everything. third party. The only thing is that you have to deal with the fact that it's coming from China and it might take 80 days. I've had a package that took 93 days to get here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Which in that case, I would say you then go to the Gumpler Hermit Shop. They'll might as well just wait till it's stateside because it's convenient. His prices are good, and what he does that GMC doesn't is he offers lay-by, so you can buy anything pretty much. Put a deposit and pay it off over time. So that's actually a feature you don't really get from the big stores.
Yeah, that's also true because that lay-by feature kind of does help out with let's see if those are there in a pinch or just trying to save up.
Absolutely. I've already hit him up to put aside one of those amazing cast Mark IIs for me, right? Like, just because why pay for it all at once if you don't have to, especially considering and we'll talk about what's coming up soon, but I'm just shelling out. I'm bleeding money right now to get all of these releases.
So
we got a comment from Hasaki. He said resin is the topic. We could talk about it.
But we kind of got on a sidetrack of things anyway, since two of our whips do include resin. So, but
yes,
I'm a resin junkie, and then Jerry is also trying to get his feet wet with that stuff too.
I'm getting there. If you didn't see it before, this is my very first resin project. It's the Amazing Cast Full Armor Gundam. This is probably a bad picture, but actually I can show you what it's supposed to look like. I don't know if this is any better, but this is what it's supposed to look like. I'm taking the blue route because I knew if I tried to do green, it would end up looking exactly like this, and then I wouldn't feel like I did anything special. So I went the blue route, and I'm happy with how it's coming out so far. I learned a lot. Yeah, I learned a lot doing this first one, and I'm hoping that I can take some of what I learned and make the rest of the body even better. Hoping. We'll see that.
Yeah, somebody's commenting about your full armor, so.
Thank you. It's not perfect. It doesn't 100% pass the zoom in test, but oh man, yeah. So we have another dog here, so it might get pretty loud.
Yeah. All right, let's
Jeff
move on.
Says, yeah, we'll get to some of your comments in a bit. We got a lot to talk about today.
All right, so latest hauls.
Oh man, I don't have much. I've already posted, but you can go first.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with this mug I shared recently, right? So it's from a buddy of mine, Jiang Li, which is also OA Studio, right? So you got your femboy Shinji. So it says, "Get in the mug, Ryan. You cannot advance without caffeine." So this is actually a pretty damn good gift.
There you go. Are you already using it?
No, it's not yet. It's full of creamer though.
There you go. Any kit acquisitions that you're excited about?
Actually, speaking of, so I picked this up yesterday, right? So you got the Road Grade Ava Unit 2. Came out yesterday in Japan, so decided to grab one for myself.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Everyone is telling. So I've never built a real grade kit before, and that's more to do with size than anything. But everyone's telling me that build an Evangelion kit because apparently they're fantastic.
Yeah, because I built
So I might just
unit 1
0?
when it first came
1?
out. Yeah. So because it almost builds like a master grade kit because there's no pre-built frame, everything's all separate, and like the flexibility is like perfect. So it's a good solid kit overall, especially if you like to do some crazy poses, and then if you get the DX platform set, so it's a good like dio piece too.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm waiting on. The platform set looks like it's sold out right now at a lot of places. So, and I'm a glutton for accessories. So,
Yeah, because the accessories is what makes the kit too.
yeah. Does this one come with anything crazy, or is anything announced for it?
Not that I know of. This one's just a basic model kit.
Okay.
Yeah. So Hasaki Art's asking if I live in Japan, and actually I do. I moved here about a year ago, so right now I'm kind of reaping the benefits of living in Japan.
Same. I don't live in Japan, but I'm reaping the benefits of him living in Japan.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna segue into this guy right here.
Yes.
Grade Extreme Unicorn Gundam.
And that's actually part of my latest haul.
Yeah, it is actually.
Very, 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 very excited about it. We're going to talk about it in a bit after I talk about what I got. But yeah, I'm like one of the 2 people in the world that's excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like I'm not walking into this, that model kit pessimistically at all, and like I have like every reason to, but I'm not. So. But before we talk about the unicorn, I think the unicorn is coming up next soon. But before we talk about that, let me show you what I got. Give me 1 second.
So for Hasaki Art, yeah. So I got that AC unit inside of my little hobby area, so it actually works pretty well along with all the other separate rooms at the house.
Alrighty, so I've been on a like a Mechanicore kick, a Mechanicore kick lately, and it actually started like I want to say 2 years ago with this kit.
Oh yeah,
I think this was the cassia. Let me move my. Yeah, it started with the cassia, and this is actually my second one. I'm gonna be real. I almost kind of regret buying it. Another one. Not really, but like I thought it was gonna come with more than it did because the first one I bought was the just the normal release. It was the one that came out after all of the first and second round pre-orders, and it didn't really come with anything special outside of. Nothing actually. It just came with everything that the normal stuff. But the first and second release came with like pre-order bonuses. This one came with a metal V-fin, which is actually pretty helpful because the way that the plastic V-fins are on the sprues can easily crack the tips.
Especially.
Yeah, mine is fine actually. I don't need it, but it's still nice to have, and I'm probably going to end up using it. And it comes with a poster. I thought that what I was actually looking for was a special set of decals. That's actually not a part of any of the pre-orders at all. It was just one that I want to say Sam Decal included specifically. So yeah, it was he just rescaled the G system decals, which is fine. I'll figure it out. I'll
Yeah.
more than likely find a sheet. I don't know how I'm gonna get it yet, but I will. Yeah, so I'm not gonna unbox it. It's, if you guys want to see more of it, I have some work in progresses of the first one that I have, and I started building it probably
Yeah.
a couple months before I got married, and I stopped. I haven't touched it since, but it's on the docket. But I did get a second one specifically because a lot of the early Mechanicore kits, the first four actually, Kshatriya, Griefer,
Yeah.
I want to say Cassia and Penelope all use the same frame, so having extra parts is good. Yeah, so I have a spare frame that I can use for parts. After that, another Mechanicore kit. This is what I have on hand. It's the easiest one to pull out. I got the Mechanicore Curiosa Q, which is how's it pronounced? Is it Cubile? Cubile?
I think it's Cubile or whatever.
Yeah, Cubile. So
I just
yeah,
got the Kweb.
You said you have the clip?
No. I'm saying, like, I used to call it the Kweb, like QUEB.
Oh, the Kweb. Oh, Kweb. Yeah. Actually, I like that better. I'm gonna start calling it Kweb now. Perfect.
Yeah,
but
you
yeah,
don't
so
guess yourself.
yeah, or I mean, Kairosa is not that bad. That's pretty easy to say.
Yeah.
Mechanicore. Stefan said Mechanicore kits are so elitist. I don't know if I agree with that, and the reason why I don't agree with that is because I don't see enough people take a Mechanicore kit from start to finish for people to say that, like, it's an elitist thing. They're expensive, I guess, which is okay, but I need to see more painted Mechanicore kits before I can let people tell me that they're elitist because of that. Just
people will just buy it too many, or just buy it outright but not even do anything with it.
Yeah. That does not impress me. I'm not like, and I'm actually a part of some Mechanicore groups, and when I see people post, I almost want to like ask, like in a condescending way, "Oh, are you gonna paint that?"
Are you gonna fix that seam line?
Yeah, exactly. Is that like that part doesn't look straight? Are you gonna modify that so that and not that I'm like great or anything like that, but like one of the reasons why I'm still not finished with my Zerstore is because I have to modify it as I build it so that when I do paint it, it doesn't look like crap. So
yeah,
it's one of those things. I don't consider myself a collector, so if I bought it, it's because I plan on building it and I plan on painting it and doing all that other stuff. So that's pretty much it. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of elitists, so at all. I don't like, and my definition of elitist has changed as I've progressed through this stuff. But I don't not to go on a tangent, but yeah. So that's what I picked up, and eventually
that's a long
yeah. But I'm gonna paint them. I'm gonna do something with them, and these probably won't get touched until like 2021, 2022. So I've got other stuff that I want to do first, but with this kind of stuff, you get a deal, you buy it and let it sit.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see what we can.
Oh my God, it's like a kennel here.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to upcoming releases.
You want to share your screen for this?
Yes, I will share my screen for this one. So for this one, gonna bring up. All right, so actually, I got a weird question. Did my picture freeze for my video?
No, it didn't.
Oh, that's weird. So
Oh
it
wait,
must be on
yes, it
my
did.
side.
It did. I lied. It did freeze.
It did freeze.
Yes, it did freeze.
Oh,
I guess
great.
that's just what happens when. I guess that's just what happens when you're sharing your screen. Not much you can do about that.
Oh. So be moving on to the, I think it's called the RODAMs.
RODAMs.
GPO3.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling it. RODAMs. Yeah.
All right. So it's could be the 1/72nd scale GPO3, and it doesn't look like to be a big box so far.
Mm-mm. But to be fair, the cassia isn't a big box either, right? Like their store comparatively to like the other Mechanicore kits, it's not that big of a box. But there's still a shit ton of parts, so like it builds up to be a pretty big kit. So
it does, because you got also different versions for, you got the blue, the orange, and the clear as well.
Yes. I'm all. To be honest, it doesn't really matter which one I get, because this is one of those things that you buy it with the intention of painting it down the line at some point. But yeah, I'm going for whatever releases first, which is the blue one, as far as I know.
Yeah. But looks like they got some nice metal parts, maybe a metal V fin, and especially some wiring for the LEDs and the USB plug-in.
Yep, which is good. Looks like there'll be like a master control where you just flip a switch and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited about this. Is your screen or is your share screen frozen, or did you stop scrolling?
I stopped scrolling.
Oh, okay. There you go. Sorry. No, I heard clicking. Right. I'm like, I don't know if it's happening, but all right.
No, I'm trying to figure out my camera in the background. So, all right. So it looks like you got a nice big old decal sheet, photo etch parts, and then you also get a fancy card with a serial number.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because this kit gives me Mechanicore vibes, but it's not Mechanicore.
Yeah, a little bit, but I think there must be like a sister company or something.
Yeah, definitely. I guess the one thing that kind of scares me a little bit about like whether like the quality of it all is the price point. It's $200 before shipping.
Yeah, but it's a Chinese company, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. He got the at least a good picture art for the kit itself. It has the green sensor over the eye. Hope it's over level 9,000, right?
There you go.
Yep. Hopefully the instructions aren't terrible, but just by looking at these pictures, it probably shows you how to route the LED wiring as well.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's not something you want to, leave up to people to figure out.
Yeah, that's true. You also got your limited version card, so I'm not sure how many times you're gonna flash that over to a friend.
Yeah, what's unfortunate about this is, and I've been talking to the good people at Gundam Model Center, but they're talking about potentially scrapping the box for this because of, like their
shipping
copyright issues, and their shipping company apparently is afraid of copyright issues. But I don't think they should worry. I mean, like I imported Mechanicore kits within the past year no problem shipping through the mail.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not so much stateside.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I think they're worried about like the different ports and all that other stuff, and I don't think it'd be. I probably don't think it's going to be an issue, but if they can give people an option, like whether or not to accept the risk, I would accept the risk. I want that box.
All right. So another thing to add on to this, no pun intended. So you got the dendropium. Yeah. So the funny thing is that it's partito largo, and I had to Google it, and it translates to large party, which I think is kind of funny.
So what this looks like is so I don't know much about the lore in this case, but I know there's like 2 versions of the dendrobium system kind of thing. There's the one, that's the that they released with the HG, in 1144 scale. But there's also that one that I want to say it's like the fixed figuration version.
Yeah.
Which is like essentially like a giant backpack. And I think this one mimics that one more so than the giant mobile armor one that Bandai released for the HG.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of pulls a lot of different elements. I mean, it has fuel tanks in the back, which is kind of unneeded in my opinion.
I'm assuming that there are. Well, then again, I can't really tell you anything about the lore, so I don't know.
Yeah, but you got better pictures of the actual kit itself. It's probably computer or 3D model generated, but it actually looks like it has some pretty good detail overall.
Yeah, proportions may be kind of weird, but to be honest, I'm all in on this. If this is a success and they expand onto like they go from this to maybe like the GPO4, I would be ecstatic.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it has a decent frame. Surface details are pretty good itself.
Yeah, for sure.
But it looks like the eye sensor piece has a little bit of detail built in, so it kind of gives it more calculated look to itself.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I'm excited for this. It'll look good next to the Mechanicore GPO2.
That's if you ever build it.
I've got like my list, right? Like I'm gonna finish Cassia, and then the next Mechanicore kit that I build would be GPO2 after that. So
yeah,
we're talking like 2023 right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good while.
Yeah.
I mean, at least towards the back end, it looks pretty good too, especially what it looks like using clear parts with the simulated thruster effect.
Don't forget, there's actually a second add-on, and I don't know what it is. It kind of looks like a. Actually, I don't know if it's on your. Is it on your on your the site that you're on right now? That second like mobile pod looking thing.
I would have to double check.
I have it on the. I have it on the timeline if you want to see it. It's on the second page.
Second page.
Yeah, I added.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull that up. All right. Share screen.
Rick, am I building more because of the pandemic? Actually, no, unfortunately. I'm still working, so I get up every day. I do. I mean, I have the flexibility to work from home if I have to, but I'm pretty useless from home, unfortunately. But yeah, like that I don't. Is this something that's canon?
That I'm not sure on. It looks like custom, but I could be wrong.
It looks like a support droid.
Yeah, a little bit. Damn. All right, let's see. So I think you got, oh yeah, another picture of it too in action.
Yep. It looks like that's what it looks like the MLRS system that that GPO2 has on top.
Yeah. I mean, it does have that missile features that you would want. Damn.
Jeff Phillips made a comment. Am I weird that I don't think the aesthetic of those details doesn't do anything for me? Like, I've had a few other Chinese kits they think they added the details weren't as nice to me as a it's this is one of those things that especially when you start getting into these more involved higher end kind of kits that they always come with like a crap ton of detail. Like it's very stylized, and I think that they look better on like in 1/172 scale when they're fleshed out a little bit better, and they don't look, it doesn't look as busy as like it would be in 100 in 1/100 scale, I should say.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of okay with it. I mean it doesn't turn me away. This kind of stuff kind of gets me excited, just because you know that this is going to be like such an involved build just by looking at it.
Yeah, of course. All right.
Hasaki just mentioned he agrees. He feels like some resin models have too many details. One of the things that I'm realizing is that the better you become at like color choice, you can really mute a lot of those details and still have a kit that looks very
that works.
that like looks very good.
Yeah. So I mean, it's almost a fine line when adding in too much extra detail, because it could be like too like overbearing or over like mechanical, or too many panel line separations.
Yep, no, absolutely. But like I said, your color palette can help with that. Like you don't have to accentuate every little thing.
No.
So it's just one of those things. Like, keep in mind that this is also like a computer rendering. So it's like they're doing this to accentuate every little thing. But I'm sure once it's built, it won't look as crazy or in your face. At least that's what I've seen. You look at the CGI images for the Mechanicore kits. You look at it and just like, oh my god, that's like there's so much going on. But like they're really more like GPO2 is like the perfect example of that. Yes, there is a lot of surface detail and everything like that, but it translates a lot better in real life.
It does, because that way you just have a little bit of, like, instead of something with plain look, but a little bit at least some detail going on.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. All right.
Don't worry about it.
Did you want to at least did you want to at least do your demo or maybe move on later?
Let's move on later. Well, if we have time for it, we'll circle back.
All right. So we're going to include a new segment, right? It is a grinder nippers segment. So so this one's going to be a little bit of a opinion, of course, where what I say or you say maybe not be set in stone or true, but I can't speak for everybody else out there. And so one trend that I've noticed, right, is that people will have their Gundam store stickers, whether it be from USA Gundam Store, New Type, Gunpla Hermit Shop, the like any other type of store that has their own sticker, but they'll post it on a clean hobby mat when a hobby mat's supposed to be dirty, covered with paint and other stuff. And they'll have their own like separate, just like a clean show hobby mat. So like it just blows my mind where they just will post it up or like that type of stuff.
I mean, I actually use the grid lines on my hobby mat too.
Yeah.
When I'm cutting stuff, but I don't get me wrong. Stickers are cool. I got them, but I actually don't stick them on anything. I have them just chilling. I got my New Type one right here. I've got a Gunpla Hermit Shop sticker somewhere on my other hobby mat.
Because if I do stuff like this, it just looks stupid.
I know there's like there are definitely going to be people that are going to feel some type of way about this.
I mean, sure, but it's almost like with those people in like the modified cars will sticker bomb their back window or something. Like that's the same concept.
Yeah. It's you always got to be wary of a clean hobby mat.
Yeah. Because if it's not, I mean, I'll agree with Steve here because he put his stickers on his toolbox at work. So I mean that's valid. That should work out.
You got to put them somewhere. You know what I mean? Like that's fine. But I'm with you on that. That's kind of weird, and it also I think also people like some people use it to what do I drive? It's not fancy, but it sounds fancy, but it's not. I drive an Audi A4.
Oh, that's fancy.
No, it's not. And no stickers on it actually at all, 0. Like I there are people that put it on to, for I guess like show like brand loyalty, which is another discussion in and of itself. I think that's really weird. To like, to I don't know. It's hard to say it from someone that works with a lot of great companies, for sponsorship, but it's like it takes. But like I have like a working relationship with shops, there are people that don't have that, and they're like, oh my God, like I live and die for X, Y, and Z store, to the point where they'll start, like when drama unfolds, they'll like pick sides. Like you guys realize that you pay these people to give you stuff, right? Like I don't know. It's weird. It's that can go with anything, right? Like that when it comes to marketing and things like that. I think it's weird to put on a cape for a shop, but
it does.
This is just like another manifestation of that.
Yeah, I mean, it just like what you said with like brand or store loyalty. Like it seems like every shop now has their own exclusive sticker, whether it be for the month or a certain time period.
Yep, absolutely. And like and then they're like almost, and you can almost tell, like, I mean, you can literally tell where people's loyalty lies with what's on their mat, right? Like, you know, you've got, and I'm trying to do this without like mentioning any like store names, but it's like, you know, you got people that are like, if they have that sticker, they definitely don't have that other sticker on their hat.
Oh yeah, it'd be like a turf war pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, I've got my, I don't want to say allegiances, but you know, there are shops that I won't shop at. There are shops that I will shop at. And
Okay,
that's
my shop is always open.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know, to be honest, your shop is taking business from other shops that I would shop at.
Yeah.
You should sponsor me.
Actually, you're kind of technically sponsoring me. In a way.
Who, me? I guess. Yeah. But that's just because I know I'll get something out of it in the end.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so I think we talked long enough about hobby mats and sticker placement. So another one is like we're both moderators of groups, whether it be on Facebook groups or on Reddit for RBGunpla. But another thing that I've noticed that not everybody uses any like type of a search engine or search feature, because it's always at the top, and then you can always type in some form of your question and you can actually find the answer to it rather quickly.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, I'm trying, like, it just might just like sheer laziness at that point, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, the first thing I'll do, right? Like, the first thing I'll do is, if it's a specific question about a kit, right? I will literally go to a group that I'm in and I will type in the name of that kit, right? I'll see what comes up. Maybe there's a solution. You know, and it's also funny, right? Like, so when I ask a question, right? Like, when I ask a question, if I have to resort to like posting something onto a group or something like that, it's generally because I looked, right? Like, like for instance, you know, I'm always asking for like decal guides, right? Because I buy a lot of like, you know, third-party decals, you know, where stuff goes, right? And when I ask for a decal guide, it's because, one, I've checked, you know, like I've checked Dalong. Obviously, they usually have layouts of entire manuals there, so I've checked there. And if not there, then there's Hobby Search. Hobby Search does a really good job because they have HD scans of every single page of a manual. But the issue with both of those sites is that they only do regular release stuff for the most part, right? Hobby Search only does regular release. They're not P Bandai or anything. So if I have a P Bandai related question, I won't find it at Hobby Search because they don't carry that, you know. But it's just like, I'll ask a question and then I'll have literally comment on comment on comment, right? Not even linking me to something like to show that they looked for it. They're just like, oh, go to Hobby Search, go to Download. Like, that's the first place that I looked. You know?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm okay with talking. I'm okay with talking to people. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. Like, and to put it even further, if I have to go to a group, right? Like, if I have to go and post it in a group, it's because I already talked to people. you know, like, they couldn't help me. But you know, it's I guess it's a different world. You know, a lot of people would rather just have it fed to them. And I remember I used to always be, oh yeah, no worries, I'll get it. And like, Brian, you get like pissed at me. I'm like, yo, let them do it themselves. But like, now that I'm a moderator, I see it and it's annoying. And I'll just ignore it altogether. There are definitely people that are nicer than I am when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I mean, you gotta have a little bit of patience behind it as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's some stuff that I know that people they're not gonna find it, right? Like, especially when it comes to third party stuff and like digging through the weeds of like Taobao and like stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know, but you could also just go and YouTube how to use Taobao. It's the same whether you're buying, you know, cheap Chinese stuff or you're buying model kits.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's I guess one of those things you'll just eventually have to learn, or you'll get to the point where you can not like ask people for help, but at least search on your own.
Yeah, well, I mean, or you get to the point like me where I literally have like accounts on Chinese forums, right? Like I gotta be in the know. So like I have my own Weibo account, right? Like I'm on Dachong, right? Like which is like I'm there. So you know, I go to that extent, and I know that a lot of people aren't, but I mean, most questions. You're not the first person to ask.
No, not at all. I mean, occasionally I'll jump in to help if it seems more or less like a more complex or unique question where it can't be searched.
Yeah, man, I'm just thinking about some of the stuff that I've seen.
I don't want to trigger you or anything.
I remember. So one of the things that like Mechanicore does really well is like marketing, right? Like all of, you know, and also because it could take between like 2 years, it could take about 2 years between when they announce with that first, like that gray CAD model to like when they actually release. Like, so it's like, there's like tons of like promotional material. One of the things that they always do is they always list how many pieces are in like on for any given kit. They'll tell you how rare it is, right? Like we're only releasing 3,000 kits, and they'll tell you what the part count is. And I saw recently someone posted, how rare are these kits? Are they hard to find? Like what is like literally like to the point where it's like, I think he literally asked, how many of these exist? I'm like, are you kidding?
Open-ended. Yeah, that's open-ended question.
Like, did you look? Right? Like it's but it's like stuff like that where I want to be, and I feel like I'm a pretty helpful person. I'll do what I can, but like, you know, I'm not going to put it where the goats can get it every single time, right? Especially when it's like a pretty simple search, you know. But that's I think my nipper is all the way ground right now.
Yeah, get pretty sharp in that one, actually.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. Just trying to see if there's anyone else that looks like people are reminiscing about
the forum days.
Forums.
Yeah. But
I don't think forums were before my time, or at least as far as Gunpla is concerned. I'm in like sneaker forums.
Yeah, I guess forums are a thing of its time, but I know they're still active. So
yeah, there's some, but you know, Facebook and like Facebook groups kind of like obsoleted that. Like you got to really like that format to be active in a forum nowadays.
Yeah, but Steve's not wrong because people want to be spoon-fed.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
1,000%. All right, I guess we can go to the. I mean, I've grinded my nippers. I'm feeling pretty dull right now.
Yeah, we can probably move on. All right, so next up, we're gonna be pulling up some questions from our vault or user submitted questions on what they want to ask us in general. So first one is, do you ever think about stopping from the hobby or maybe take a break? So for me, it depends on how your mindset is or if you can just keep going. But there are some days where I just want to take a break, lounge around, play some games, or kind of move on to something else for a little bit and then come back from at least trying to get preventing from burnt out.
Yeah, like my and I'm not sure if this was like the context in which this question was asked, but like I'm, for me, it's not a matter of like walking away from the hobby altogether. It's just like I don't feel like doing something. I'm not gonna, I'm just not gonna do it. There are full weeks where I don't build anything, and that's fine. It's just people have lives, and it can't be the only thing you do.
That's also, yeah, it's true. Like, it's just one of those things where like human nature takes effect and things does move on.
Yeah, and it's and if you're one of the good ways to kind of keep you like invested is just to like it's hard for your tastes not to change as you get more involved, right? Like you want to do more, you want to do different things, you want to build different kits, so it's like it's tough for things to stay stagnant if you're kind of pushing yourself to do more and more every time.
Well, yeah, because that's like when I went from like out of box kits painting and then now resin kits and LED work, so it kind of keeps it moving or keep things fresh. So like every time I build something, it's always different.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it kind of keeps burnout still happens, but like
well, yeah, of course.
I can't see myself being like burnt out from the hobby altogether. It's just like I may need to just take a break from the kit. You know what I mean? Like put it down and do something else.
Yeah. All right. So next one, right, is what does your spouse or partner think of the hobby? So everybody's different. Luckily, my wife is supportive. She's met a lot of my Gunpla friends. Steve Santos, for example, he's our number one home slice because we hang out all the time. But yeah, Steve is best. So like, if personally, I think if you were to incorporate at least your spouse, partner, or whatever, where if you feel them included, take them to events or go on adventures, like that type of stuff. Yeah, but there's like this one special case where my wife, she also likes Gundam. She may not build the kits, but her number one series is Gundam Wing, which we both bonded over in middle school, where I burned her like CDRs from like LimeWire, like way back in the day. So I mean, it does help that if your significant other shows interest, but like, of course, everybody's different, but it's just one of those things where like is it's just something that you can't really control, or if it's just unexplainable sometimes. Yep.
So I guess so. Like on my end, it's a little bit. It's almost the opposite. Not that like. So one thing about me is that like I have an obsessive personality, meaning that like if I like something, I really like something, and I'm like all in, and that's all I'm doing, and everything like that. So, and that's in general, right? Like that's not necessarily this, but yeah, like my. So like my wife isn't like oriented towards pretty much anything. How do I say, like, I guess nerd culture, if that makes sense, right? So like this is
weeb stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like this is like 100% me, and like, but she understands that like I'm into it, and like she like she sees it as something I'm passionate about. So she's just like, hey, if you like it, and it's not bankrupting us, like go, like go for it. So like and like that's the that's the support that I get, and I'm like happy with that. I don't necessarily need her or anyone in my immediate facility for the most part to be like super into it. Like I've got more than enough charisma and like interest in it that I'm like, like that's it. So
Yeah.
but it does take up a good amount of time, and I definitely have to be a little bit better about like managing that like duality, because this is something, it's almost like a selfish thing. It's like something is just something that I just like to do, but like I gotta realize I'm living with somebody, married to somebody, that like my time isn't just my time. So I'm trying to be better about it, but it would definitely be, I'm sure it would be easier if I I plopped down and started kid, and she would too, but I'm happy with where we are. We have an understanding, and it's what it is. I mean, she feels the same way. Yeah, exactly. She feels the same way about me and sneakers. So it's it's just one of those things.
Yeah. That's understandable.
Not much I can do about it.
No. Everybody's got their own small addiction, because like my wife has her own book addiction, so
oh yeah, absolutely.
She'll buy the hell out of those, which is fine. So because we just all have our thing.
Oh yeah, I mean my wife is into sports more than I am, so she's like that's that's her thing, so it's we can have our thing, she can have her thing, and as long as we're killing each other over it, and it's not really causing any strife, then that's it.
Not at all.
So like but like I think it helps that I'm not like I'm not like saying this is what I'm going to do from the second that I get home to from work, and I'm not we have a life, and that's that there's a balance to it.
Of course, you always got to make sure it's pretty good. So Eric brings up a good point for his personal opinion, which is very valid for hiding purchases from your significant other, because that's not a healthy relationship. And I will see posts from on Facebook or in general, like just people just generally like either they're whipped into not buying stuff, or they'll actually have to hide purchases from their own partner.
I don't. So I have. So what it is and maybe this is like a weird way to think about it. And my wife kind of like looks at it weird too. But like, so my like hobbies are like self-funded, because I feel like I don't feel like it's fair for me to take almost like to take money away from us if she's not into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So like my hobby, I make sure that my hobbies pay for themselves. So like I'm not necessarily hiding anything, if that makes sense.
No, I mean anybody can go on any of your socials and see what you get.
Oh yeah, I mean she follows me, you know what I mean? She knows what it is. But like if there was something that was big, right? Like something that was really big, and I'm like, hey, I want to buy this. I would obviously, we talk about it. I would ask, hey, is this okay? And if she says yes, then it's yes. I've done it. I've done it before.
Yeah, it's just I'm not sure how really else to explain it, because you really hit it on the ball as well.
Just
it just works.
Yeah, there you go. And you'll know. You know what I mean? Like if you feel like you gotta, hide this or that, then you're definitely doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But You know, even then, even my stance though, I got to think about that from her perspective too. I got to be like, all right, well, you know, I'm like, does it look like I'm hiding something? You know what I mean? Like,
You
but
mean you can't really hide anymore if they notice, like if you take up an entire closet or
that's
like
true.
stuff is over.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I do. Like, so she has her home office, and the closet in her home office is where it used to be my old build room, and like that's where I keep all my kits. So if she ever needed a reminder of what I have, it's there.
Yeah, there's no hiding for that point.
Yeah,
because like because before I moved to Japan in our last place in Washington, where like we had intentions of sharing our second bedroom together, and I took over, and now that we have another 2-bedroom place in Japan, so she has full reigns of our second bedroom. So it's our agreement.
There you go. It's about balance. It's about balance.
Maybe I still have, I still got stuff in the closet, so I got stuff in the closet.
Well, and I feel like that's one of the things that I've done instinctually. I'm like, all right, well, you know, this is gonna be a secondary thing. You know what I mean? Like she especially with the pandemic, she was like, well, she always wanted to have like the home office, but like especially with the pandemic, she needed somewhere where she could work from home. So you know, I've always been, you know, I'm okay with that. And I think the eventual move is to move into the garage. If we stay in this house for that long, you know, I'll do the garage, and that will be the, you know, my final resting place.
Yeah, that's true. Because my wife also needed a space to do her schoolwork since she's doing her master's online. So
there you go.
She's got to have her space.
Yeah. So, but you know, it comes down to communication.
Yeah. All right. So that was a bit of a good question there, and kind of spit some stuff out.
Yeah.
All right. So next question, right? So someone seen the resin kits. They don't know where to start, but they also feel it's either overpriced or sold out. So there's if you're not up or current with it, then yes, it can be overpriced or sold out, because you really got to stay on top of it. Because I feel like resin kits they're more limited than even premium Bandai kits because of the production runs and how small they run. So like, depending on the group, some people like to post resin kits, other people feel different ways. But there's this blog I like to use. Maybe I'll actually bring it up right now. All right. So this blog, it's inask.net. I'll probably have to post up a link.
Ooh, I'm gonna go there right now.
Yeah, so like this blog, it helps out a lot for me whenever I need to search up some stuff. But has a lot of third party. You got Anchor it, like resin kits, other plastic models. I mean, it has everything that you need, at least information wise, to at least find what you're looking for, or just keep up to date. So it's overall it's actually not that bad, especially when
this SH Studio Fast Recall resin kit, is that new?
Yeah, so I saw that one the other day. It looks like some tasteful mods have been done to it. So it's recent, because SH Studio has been coming out with a lot of stuff. Yeah,
it looks pretty basic too. Like, it's not like overwhelming.
No, not at all. Like,
I'm gonna have to get this.
Yeah, because even my Perfect Grade Wing Zero resin kit's by SH Studio, and it's like it has tasteful mods, it's not overdone, so it's still relatively simple.
Look at that. That looks really good. I like that.
Yeah, it's and it looks like it comes with the metal flexible hose too for option parts for the side skirt.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Man, that's the problem. But that's also like the problem with resin. It's just like there's so much out there. Like you're and also it's like I don't want to say it's like a luxury product, but it's like a niche kind of thing. So
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the resin kit can cost as much as the base kit too. So,
mhm.
so like it really depends on what you're wanting, or like how far you really wanted to go with the kit.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good source I like to use.
For me, as far as resin goes, I'm one of those people that I'm as I said before, like I follow a lot. I'm in like a lot of forums, and like I have my own Weibo account. Like I essentially have my ears to the ground for a lot of this stuff. So it's not I'm pretty up to date. I'm anything that I could be interested in that's new will usually pop up. Where I suffer though is like for stuff that's older. There's just a lot of there's so many resin products out there that there's so much stuff that you probably don't even know it exists, right? And by the time you find out about it, it's like there's the only thing that exists at that point is like recasts.
Yeah, like Neograde's a good example because they're awesome. They have awesome stuff, which is super rare nowadays.
Yeah,
and that's another good example of them being recasted like to no end.
Yeah, to the point where in some cases it's almost like not even in the same product anymore.
No.
Yeah, all right, but I'm always doing that. I'm always searching Taobao and things like that. So.
All right, so next question, right? Our next one from the vault before we start moving on to questions from the community. All right. So besides Gunpla, is there any other genre or theme sci-fi realm either you would be interested in?
Huh. As far as I'm concerned, I do like my vanilla anime stuff. You know what I mean? Like my shonen type of stuff. I'm like a Dragon Ball Z nerd. From start to finish, I've like consumed everything Dragon Ball Z. I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable in it. Pokemon up into a certain point as well. I have Sword and Shield, but I kind of gave up on that game.
I'll play Pokemon still to this day.
I used to like competitive. I used to play competitively, and I don't know. Like once you like kind of get off that track, it's hard to get back in because it's a lot of work to get to those points.
You gotta build yourself back up.
Yeah, and like one of the things that they did here is like the limited Pokédex in this new generation doesn't really facilitate me getting some of the stuff that I used to like. Like teams that I used to have. So it's, but I do enjoy that. I'm always reading. I'm like keeping up with like 80 different like manga series. like obscure ones too. Like I'm all up in there. I like comic book movies. I'm not. I don't follow many comic books though, but I do like to find myself going on Wikipedia rabbit holes every now and then, and
Yeah.
finding out about this character or that character. Yeah, I'm like a media junkie in in general.
All right, so I guess I'll I'll jump in. So, like, I want to at least broaden my model kit experience or world per se. So, like the real grade Ava kits also have been good. I've done the Kotobukiya like Zoid kits, and I really want to get into the Macross kits too. So
I've heard good stuff about them.
Yeah, because I really want to get because I have one of the Max Factory, the 120th scale fighter, the VF1s, and I want to eventually paint it one day, but I'll probably have to at least start off small and go from there.
Work your way up.
Yeah, but even along with Macross, I've seen like the space battleship, like Yamato model kits. Those look pretty sweet because it's actually pretty cool because they'll light up. It has like different features for the guns, different classes of ships. So this is something that's always been in my my mind.
Yeah, it one of those. I think that's one of the things that I'm going to try and challenge myself with, probably in like 2021. There's so much more to the hobby than just like what Bandai shits on a plate and gives us. So like I really want to, and I have built I probably built more. I think I built more Zoids than I have Gunpla at this point, but that's just because early on when I was younger, probably 15 years ago, that I used to build a lot of those. Definitely not as complex as what, like not even, the regular Takara Tomy, so it's not the HMM, but I have built those too. But I'm trying to kind of broaden my horizons a bit. I've been like really resistant, even in just like Gunpla, I've been resistant to like 1/144 scale stuff. But I think that I've heard enough good stuff about the RG Ava kits. I've heard a lot of good stuff about the RG Suzabi and New Gundam. And now, Neo Zeong is coming, and obviously the eventual perfect Neo Zeong, or not Neo Zeong, sorry, perfect Zeong, I should say. And that's going to be like 10 inches tall. So I'm with it.
Yeah,
with it. I need to get out of my comfort zone and do some new stuff.
Yeah, because it kind of helps you be a better builder versus if you're just stuck in one specific area. Because like a good example is like I like doing clean builds, but I haven't done anything with weathering yet. So that's like another avenue I would like to pursue in the future.
I'm not even sure. I guess that's one of the things. It's like I haven't been, and maybe it's one of those things that once you do it, you'll be like, oh, I like this. You know what I mean? But like I do, I for whatever reason, I like the clean build, but I haven't tried doing a weathered build, so maybe that's where I got to go with it.
Because I'm not sure if I really want to dirty this guy up because it just looks so good clean.
It does. Like the clean lines, and they photograph so well. It's definitely something to think about. Maybe one day, maybe you do it on something that you don't necessarily like that much, if that makes sense. Yeah,
because like Hasaki Art brings up a good point. For doing a clean build, it's actually not easy because there's a lot more how should I say this? Like there's a lot more prep work when you do clean builds, especially when you go ahead and mask everything. because you want to be perfect as possible, because even when you how should I say this, like once you like pull up the tape, mask tape, like you want to make sure like everything's like literally perfect, there's no overspray,
And
there's
flush
no hidden.
and yep.
Yeah, because
it does take work.
yeah, because like even if you want to like achieve like the maximum amount of color separation, because it's just like you just want to make sure everything flows well too.
That's true. That's a good point.
And because like this one I agree on too, because most people that do weathering are more so covering up imperfections, which is also true, because you can go ahead and like, oh, I missed a spot, or if there's something that they want to fix, they can just cover it up with some like oil-based paint, whether it be like rust, some soot,
Yep.
some little bit like chipped metal. Yep.
I even feel that way with appreciating to an extent.
Yeah.
One day I'll do something appreciated, but like again, the way just like a clean panel lines and crispy details. I just like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure like how you can get good doing clean builds other than just doing repetitive over time, but
yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure if it's right to say it comes second nature for me, but I just go with it.
Yeah. Crispy detail.
Yeah, but it looks like we got some comments going on where weathering can actually fix or hide stuff too.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
But he said, as Steve said, covering up mistakes and doing good weathering are two totally different things.
Yeah.
Especially making it look natural.
Yeah, because with weathering, because you want to make sure your layers are right, and you can also still see surface imperfections too, if it's not done right.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah.
Rob said, "I'm weathering dips kits in mud."
Wow. Hey man, give him a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, there you go. Since we're handing those out nowadays. Customizing and actually trying to turn plastic kit into a resin kit quality kit. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
All right.
All right, because we can pull some questions.
Yeah, so let's open up for some community questions. And I got one on the back end right now. So like Hisaki Art was asking about me living in Japan. So I'm trying to at least keep it as simplified as possible, because I moved here last June, and the transition for like, especially when it comes to driving, was literally night and day, because I'm driving on the opposite side of the road. Like you're not gonna, this is gonna blow your mind, but we can't turn on a red signal here. Yeah, no.
What?
Yeah, so like so when they do have traffic lights or traffic stops, you can't turn on a red signal. I know that's like customary in in like America, right? Because like if like I remember driving where if you stop at a light, if you're turning like right, for example, and yeah, I have to think about it, because it's also been a year, actually more than a year, since the last year of the United States. But yeah, but if you stop at a stoplight, if you're going ahead in the turning lane, turning right, you can go ahead on a red light. But here you can't. You have to wait for the light turns green, where you get the green arrow.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting. Huh.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, right? Because I've also learned a bad habit to where a lot of people run red lights here. Like everybody will speed through.
Oh,
Yeah. Because once the light turns
Oof.
red, there's probably about like 3 to 5 second delay before the opposite side turns green because everybody will just run it, which I think is kind of funny. But they stress that Japanese drivers are professional, so it's almost like a privilege to drive here. So like, because most of the time those rely on public transportation.
I get you. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So another follow-up question, because this is actually pretty good for at least the locals treating foreigners, and if they're easy to mingle with. So I would say I haven't had any negative experience so far, especially when I go to my local hobby shop, because I'll go there maybe once or twice a week, so I know they recognize me, but they're always just nice to me. I mean, really have no negative things to say. Like, I mean, my wife.
Do they speak English?
I would say like a little bit, but it's just more or less to make sure you understand the transaction that you're doing, or like it's, for example, if they were to calculate everything that I'm buying, they'll do it on a calculator and like they'll show me the price, be like, okay, sure, and like that type of stuff. But for the most part, you kind of like learn the lingo of like when you go check out for stuff. I mean, it's like even if you were to do a trip now, like especially in the major touristy areas, or if there's like big American military presence, there's a decent amount of like English speaking locals, because they'll like kind of just help you out too.
Interesting. Well, that's good. I mean, at least they're they're somewhat welcoming.
Yeah, I mean, it's for the most part, it's just pretty good so far. All right. So Jerry and I are actually looking for some community questions right now. So anything that comes to your mind, within reason, of course, we'll answer it to the best of our ability. So you guys can just go ahead and post away.
Yep. I'm actually as they're doing that, I'm actually looking up that SH Studio. Thaz. Is that released already?
Oh yeah, actually it did.
Oh man, okay. Does $63 sound about right?
That's not too bad. All right, so Rob Gutierrez asking for any tips cleaning kits prior to painting. So what I've seen pop up recently, or just occasionally, is that people like to wash their plastic runners like in bathtubs or kitchen sinks, which I don't think it's necessary now with the molding process or the manufacturing process. So that way, like the mold release doesn't. I mean, yeah, so mold release doesn't affect their paint, but I mean, I can stand for third-party kits too, because there's a couple of where I'll put my hands on it and my fingers will get a little bit greasy.
Oily. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have that issue with early, like the first Hobby Star Exia.
Yeah.
It was pretty greasy. Pretty greasy. Steve, I'm looking at the resin upgrade for the Fazverka.
Yeah. I mean, Rick Lee's asking about any third-party brands to look out for besides Daybon and and Dragon Momoko. So seems like occasionally we'll get a new third-party brand come out every now and then, like Supernova.
Mm-hmm. Supernova's pretty good. I like Supernova. They're not like the top of the list for me, just because.
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to just only build wing kits. You know what I mean? Like they're good kits. They're fine.
Yeah.
Quality's okay. But I think the only third-party stuff that's really gotten me excited coming out right now is just the GPO3 for the most part. I don't think we've had anything groundbreaking this year. I was talking earlier. These Supernova Zoid kits are pretty cool. This is the first one that I built. They're pretty cool, but there's been, especially with what's been going on recently as far as like copyright is going, not a lot of innovation out there right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's also true. So Jeff is asking, so what shops do you trust in if you buy resins? Since he's interested in the SH Studio Faz, so there's a couple of shops out there. I would avoid eBay at all costs, since the price gets pretty jacked up.
Yeah, unless it's like somebody who's like a domestic, collector that's just letting go of something.
Yeah, I mean, to put this out there, the Gunpla Hermit shop ran by Brandon Preeves, he also carries SH Studio kits and probably will stock them on request too, if he gets enough interest.
Yep. I mean, most of that stuff I just kind of flop around Taobao for.
Yeah, I mean, Taobao is probably my number one source anyways, since I'll use a forwarding agent, just buy directly from the studio's storefront.
Yep. Does SH Studio have a Taobao store?
Oh yeah, they do.
Why couldn't I find it when I was looking for the Faz? Interesting. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Is that it? I'll find it. Have you ever heard of MX Market?
Yes, that rings a bell actually.
Okay, that's what I found. Looks like they're selling these photo etch sheets separately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's what keeps coming up when I search, but I'll find it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you will.
Yeah. But
actually, MX Market is at SH Studio.
Oh, perfect. Haha.
Yeah. I'm bringing it up right now.
Haha, there you go.
I know, because you can go ahead and I like to use Chrome. That way you can
auto-translate. Yeah.
Yep. Because then you can go ahead and scroll through, and then that's where you can start finding all the goodies.
Yeah, I'll definitely be getting that resin. I'm probably gonna order it tonight, to be honest, while it's still in stock.
Yeah.
Huh? Looks like it doesn't come with any pieces for the gun.
I wonder if that might be extra.
I don't think it upgrades the gun at all. It's just the main body. I'm fine with that though. I'm probably gonna end up breaking mine trying to take it apart.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Oh, this looks awesome. Yeah, definitely. Like this is the exact level of detail that I want in something like this.
Yeah. All right, so So Rickley is asking if B Cub still exists. So occasionally I will see some B Cub kits out in the wild here in Japan, but it's very, very rare.
Yeah, I see some listed on Mandarake every now and then.
Yeah,
They're not as rare as they are. They're not. They're some of them don't go for as much as I think they would.
no, I mean I think it's also a product of its time because it's sometimes not. I mean it's not as good as the resin products that come out today.
Yeah, that's what I ended up assuming. Sometimes like the proportions are weird, and even being resin, they're not that detail heavy.
No.
More so, they're probably like collector's items than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, there's some hidden gems out there, like the Perfect Grade Grandpa. They had a full armor set for it too, like add-ons.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of but there is a lot of recasts of that stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know SH Studio did a Kshatriya?
I think it was a recast from MRSA or one of the other ones.
Would you trust their quality?
I mean, I'd say it wouldn't hurt, but as far as Kshatriya kits go, I would want to
the only way to go for that, right?
Maybe, but even then, I would avoid anything like full resin kits versus having its own separate fan because it'll be just like a brick.
I see. Interesting. Oh man, I'm gonna have to take a look. I'm gonna take a look at this.
So Hasaki Art's also asking for shipping from overseas back to normal. So that might be open-ended because depending on your country, the country you're buying from.
So, I recently experienced it still being pretty on the expensive side still. But you know, the last thing that I imported was like a 14-pound kit. So there's that.
Yeah, that's also true. All right. So from Eric, so he's asking both of us for our thoughts on the new MGX line. Is it overpriced and gimmicky or cool? So he must have missed out on that portion of our stream.
So we actually have one right here, or over there, I should say. And I'm hoping maybe in like a week and a half or so to start building it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how I feel about it because I'm not looking at it from the perspective of a standalone brand new kit, right? I'm looking at it from the perspective of like, all right, the first unicorn I built was the full armor unicorn. If you know me, you know that I like those big, bulky, full armor type kits. So I remember building the full armor unicorn and like really enjoying the build process. It was pretty accurate to what I remember seeing on screen as far as the transformation and everything goes. But once I got everything assembled, the kit was and I mean this without sounding vulgar, but like the kit was a piece of shit. It's terrible. And not just because of the armor, like the base kit was garbage. The unicorn, you couldn't pose it without its limbs popping off. You couldn't pose it without armor being not like disaligned. Nothing locked into place the way it was supposed to. It was just I mean, I like to say it was a good kit, but it was a terrible figure, and it didn't handle being handled at all. It was very bad. Like it was just terrible.
It was floppy.
Yeah. Like I mean, I'm like thinking about how how the torso extends and you have to clamp that thing. Yeah, like that thing. Like I mean, it was just terrible. It was just terrible. And like I've seen some of the reviews for the like the a couple of builders or channels and stuff like that got the sample versions of the kit, and
Yeah.
I'm looking at it and I'm looking at how they're posing it. I'm looking at how it's holding the beam magnum. I'm looking at it holding up its arm with the shield and the double Gatlings on it. Like I understand that everyone is like, oh, it's expensive and everything like that, but like, do you remember how the old unicorn could not do any of those things at all without the arm falling off or sagging?
Yeah, it was kind of floppy.
Yeah, like it's. So I look at it from that perspective, right? Like, and I look at it that like I already have a full armor unicorn, right? I already have a perfectibility or whatever. Like I have all those things. So I can take all of that and I can put it on this more stable, slightly reproportioned master grade unicorn that doesn't have any of those bad issues that the other one had, for the most part, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I mean,
so like for me, I see that as like that's an upgrade. Like I'm all in on that. Like why would I not? Like I didn't have any issues with the design of the unicorn before. I don't build or I haven't built any 1/144 scale stuff, so I'm not building the RG unicorn. So my itch really isn't scratched, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's it's different.
It is.
It's different. If you built the unicorn and said that's enough, I don't want it anymore, then I don't think this kit is for you. But if you built the unicorn wanting more and wanting a better kit, this is it. You got it.
Yeah, I mean, the proportions between the old master grade and the MGEX, I mean, they show it. I mean, there's even the gimmick for inside the cockpit where you can go from regular to new type destroyer mode. So it's like one of those small things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looks like this is more. It looks like it's proportioned more with the PG.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's hopefully once you do your review on it, because Steve is going to be asking for that, so it's going to be definitely all you for the review.
Oh, for sure. And like, I think the point that I really want to hit home here is like not even how good the MGEX is. It's like how bad the old unicorn was. And for whatever reason, I feel like people, when I saw this and I looked at, like, I'm looking at this review and I'm looking at like, and I look at them posing it and moving it and I'm like how is no one else seeing that as an improvement? Because I remember like looking at my unicorn and it literally falling apart. It was not fun for me. I did not enjoy, like I enjoyed building it, but like I have the perfectibility sitting in a box in pieces right now.
Yeah, I'm glad I haven't got that yet. Yeah, I was waiting for the P-Bandai version actually.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? It just has different box art.
Pretty much.
Man, like I'm just like thinking about all of the issues that it used to have, like it had, and but I get it though, right? Like I feel like some people feel the same way that I felt when the Wing Zero Verka was announced, right? Like, yeah, it's something that definitely needed an upgrade, but like I wasn't looking for a new Wing Zero. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say, like, the most funniest thing about it is Benager's dad just dying figure.
just falling back into that explosion.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh man.
Looks like the weapons are the same. They look unchanged, which I mean I'm okay with that as long so you scroll that. Look at that. you see that pose right there? Not possible with that was not possible with the old unicorn.
Yeah, you're right.
Let alone letting it hold, like having it hold those weapons. Like, I don't understand why this kit didn't have 3.0 hands to begin with, or at least fixed pose. But like, man,
Yeah, those hands sucked.
I don't know. So they were standard 2.0 hands. It's the weapons that were terrible.
Yeah, that's true. Because because it does give you new handles for the weapons to use with the either the 3.0 hands or the fixed pose hands as well.
Which is fantastic, and that cage is fantastic too. I mean, it's gonna look really good. It's gonna look really good. I'm probably, you know what I'm probably gonna end up doing is getting myself a second one so that I can do like a Phoenix variant, because I have all those armed armor DEs.
And for Jeff, we actually still kind of comparing with the old Masquerade Unicorn with this new one, especially with the Gunjap article that's comparing the two.
I'll definitely be comparing them. I think a lot of people are upset that there weren't a lot of changes. I don't know. Like, I think Bandai did what they could to make it different, in the sense that, like, they took one, like, the unicorn's the unicorn, right? Like, they took one piece and just made it bigger, right? Or they took another panel and made it bigger, but it's still the same panel. But I'm looking forward to it. It's more than enough. It comes with more than enough, and I have more than enough interest in the unicorn to want one that works.
Yeah, that's true. Especially with, I mean, I understand that the price point is probably on par with the perfect grade, because you can buy the perfect grade and the LED kit for almost the same price as this, depending where you get it from too.
Yep.
But it's also smaller scale.
Mm-hmm. Which has its own advantage, and speaking from the engineering perspective, it was probably a lot. It probably cost Bandai a lot of money to come up with this. We could have gotten this in a third-party form, and it would have been like the Hobby Star Exia, which, I mean, it works, but like, it just works.
I mean, yeah, it does.
It's not.
But even the added bonus of the clear Psycho frame, where you can go from the normal to the full Awakening version, and it's not even a P-Bandai kit anymore.
Yep, exactly. I would, and I'm interested to see what because we all know, like, the Unicorn has hundreds of not hundreds, but like has tons of variants. Like, I'm wondering if they're ever gonna, just release a standard or release the frame, maybe, as like a premium Bandai option, like an upgrade.
Well, I mean, if you upgrade it, like if they were to release a standalone LED kit for it,
mm-hmm.
The only thing I see would worry about is when you do remove the parts, that the flexible ribbon cable that it is already fragile.
That's true.
So, unfortunately, people are just gonna have to buy extra kits.
Yeah. Yeah, it might just be cost of entry.
Yeah. And for the next Master Grade Extremo, I was thinking maybe along the lines of the new Gundam, the RX 93, because with the Vert Ka, it has the Sacro frame in it. So if they were to modify it just a tad, where they can actually light up the Sacro frame without people like me having to do custom work to light up the Sacro frame.
You know what, though? I'm gonna say that I don't think that I think so. At least my understanding of this line, right, is that they're taking a point that, like a design element that has like an extreme kind of or hasn't like a theme that can be accentuated, and then they quote unquote take it to the extreme, right? So I look at like the unicorn is like, and this, to be honest, this could have easily been Exia as well, right? Because it's like the same.
Actually, you got a point there.
It's the same gimmick, right? But
yeah.
I don't think the next one, right, or the next different one. I'm sure they'll release a variant of this, but I don't think the next different one is going to go for the same gimmick. I think it's going to be something else, where they can highlight like, you know, a certain aspect of it, and like, okay, this is that, you know, that extreme aspect, right? I think the chart they had was like articulation, detail, something like, you know what I mean? Like it's, I think that we may see I was talking about it before, right? Like something that won't get a 2.0, right? Like something that wouldn't make sense to get a 2.0, but like
a Dom.
Yeah, well, maybe, right? Maybe a Dom. Or this is where we'll see Kshatriya, right? Like,
Or
but to be honest, I think it would probably make more sense for Kshatriya to be a high resolution model. If the issue with the
weight
binder, is really an issue. But I mean, if they could make if a Chinese company could make a metal build Kshatriya, then Bandai can slap together some die cast joints and put it on a model kit. I'm not like, I don't think it's, when they talked about having issues with it with the Kshatriya, that was like 10 years ago. So
yeah,
there's a lot that's changed since then, and I hope that they can do something about that. But yeah, I don't know if we're gonna. I don't think that the every MGEX kit is just going to be something that lights up. I don't think that, at least.
I mean, that's a good point to break up, because like you said, if they wanted to accentuate like a certain part of the kit or highlight it, so
yeah, no, exactly, and you gotta start thinking about those like out there kits. I'm not sure if they're all going to be Verkaz. They might not. I don't know, but New Gundam is definitely an option. But I wonder what direction they would take that in.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
would it simply just be like, okay, well, it lights up now, or would they change it?
I mean, Hasaki Art brought up a good point for like the Strike Freedom, Victory 2, or Destiny Gundam, because it
absolutely,
because we haven't seen a Strike Freedom 2.0 yet, just only a regular Freedom 2.0.
And the Strike Freedom definitely needs an upgrade, for sure.
Yes.
So there's the Destiny, and there's a lot that, I mean, especially with the Strike Freedom, there's a lot that can be done with that. With all of those, you know, those funnels. Do they call those funnels too in Gundam?
I know. I think, is it the Dragoons or something like that?
Yeah, Dragoons. There you go. Yeah. But there's definitely a lot of places they can take it, and I'm here for it. You know, I'll take anything that's different. We definitely need some. We definitely need some more, though. Maybe we'll get a Cassie from this. You know, that the Cassie might be a good one to do the MGEX line with, or even Penelope.
Yep.
Because that has a transformation, and it will be massive, and it'll give Bandai a reason to charge us a lot of money for it. But I can also see, you know, the Cassie just being a regular Verka. You know, a lot of people think that because Mechanicore did it and it became like a super detailed, expensive kit means that like Bandai can't do it. I mean, a Cassie would only be about an inch taller than the Sazabi Verka. It wouldn't be. It's big, but it's not like unfathomable big, and it's also pretty basic in terms of like construction too. It's not like an overly complicated kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can see with since Hathaway's Flash is around the corner, so we'll probably see something crazy then. But even then, we were promised the perfect grade Grandpa 2.0 too.
right by the end of the year. I thought. So we'll see.
Supposedly.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, but like, there's a lot of directions they could go with that I might not be happy with, because there's like 80,000 different, iterations of the RX-78 too. A PG Origin version would be pretty cool, but that's not what, they're not going to do that though.
No, that'd be awesome though.
Yeah, it would. Oh, man. Oh, all right. Well, it looks like we're hitting that 2-hour mark, and
yeah.
I don't know. You got I don't know if there's anything else you wanna talk about.
That's pretty much it. Other than there's any other last minute questions from those in the stream.
Yeah.
Looking like
really. Oh, there's one thing, Hasaki. I'm really, really, really hoping that that the cassia is not an RE100. That would be an absolute waste. It would be a waste. I don't think they would do that. I think that if we're gonna get it, it would either be an HG or we'd get a proper master. And I think it's within Bandai's capabilities to get us one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, hey, it could be the next Masquerade Extreme for the Z.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hopefully, we'll see. In the meantime, I'm very excited to get that unicorn. I'll do the comparison. I'll post my thoughts real time, but that's something I'm definitely going to make a video about. Otherwise, it's going to be up to Mecha Guy Gotsu to do it, and I don't want that.
Oh, all the fanboys.
Yeah, I don't want that. So.
No, you're not worthy enough.
No, but he's not gonna. I just don't think it's something that he should do. I don't.
All right. So this is actually
all right, folks.
Actually, one more question before you. All right. So how do we feel about the HY2M 160th Glorious Series kits? So that one's like almost like a giant high grade, so to speak, but they do have LED kits.
They're not my cup of tea, just because I would have nowhere to display something like that, and they're not actually that complicated either.
Yeah, it's just a big giant kit, so to speak.
Yeah. They're okay. I don't have any issues with them. Just not my wheelhouse.
No, not at all.
All right. I think that wraps it up.
Yep.
All right, folks. Hopefully we'll plan something good for you next time. I want to do some live demos. Maybe we'll shoot some feelers out, see what you guys want to see.
Of course. All right, so this concludes our second episode. So we thank you guys for your support and the interaction along the way, and stand by. We'll have another highlight video from this episode. So
yeah, it's gonna be it's not just me, all of us getting trolled here, but
yep.
All right, guys, we appreciate it, and stay tuned for the next one.
All right.